G'day whisky lovers, welcome to the Hard Malt channel. My name's Tim. We're coming to the end of 2024 now, so I figured I might do a countdown of my top 5 purchases of this year. So here we go. Coming in at number 5, I've picked Glencadam 15-year-old. Now this is a typical ex-bourbon cask whisky, but it's done extremely well. With full integrity, it's non-chill filtered, it's natural colour. It's somehow delicate and rich at the same time, which is, I think that's difficult to do and or difficult to achieve in a whisky. And this one just comes across brilliantly. Yeah, you've got some delicate spices in there, plenty of vanilla, sort of toffee flavours coming through, orchard fruits. Yeah, it's deceptively delicate and rich. That's how I would describe this one. I have been through 2 bottles of the Glencadam 10-year-old, which is an excellent whisky in itself, and I'd never complain about having that poured for me at all. But the 15-year-old it's quite a step up from the 10-year-old. I was very impressed with just how much more this gives you over the 10-year-old. Very impressive purchase, and for a good price, a good fair price too. So that is my pick for 5th place. Coming in at number 4, one of my choices from the Springbank shop this year when I was visiting the distillery in Campbelltown, Kilkerran 12-year-old, from their sister distillery, Glencadam. So this one, think sweet filled chocolates, delicate peat, very, very subtle smoke. In fact, some peat haters would probably be quite happy with this one, to be honest. Baked spiced toffee, hints of citrus, really oily on the palate as well, and yeah, just it's got a bit of the murky earthiness that you associate with Campbelltown distilleries, especially Springbank, and maybe not so much Glencadam, but there's hints of it in there. And yeah, I just really rate this one. The finish for me on this one gives me a nostalgic flavour of cheesecake base. Not the cheesecake itself, just that crumbly, biscuity base from the cheesecake. That's how this one finishes for me, and it just makes you want to have another sip again and again. So yeah, hence I had to replace this bottle already, and yeah, I'll be enjoying this bottle and probably have to replace it again. So now we're moving on to the top 3. So coming in at number 3, my top 5 purchases this year is Laphroaig Cairdeus 2024 release, the Cask Favourites edition. So this one I've described to many people. This one is like a badass version of the Laphroaig Law, as in it's potent, sherried, peaty whiskey. Think of the Laphroaig Law dialed up to 11, but smoothed out as well. For this higher ABV, it's actually an incredibly smooth whiskey, with all those rich cherry, dark fruit notes, chocolate, and then that sweet creamy peat sort of intermingled through all the flavours as well. It's yeah, it's one you could really sip all night, and it goes really well in a Boilermaker with a really nice stout. And yeah, I was very happy with this one. I can understand why they call it Cask Favourites, because it's definitely one of my favourite Laphroaigs, 100%. So we're coming up to the top 2. Coming in at 2nd place, another one of my purchases from my trip to Scotland this year, and we have a Bunnahabhain Warehouse 9 Distillery exclusive, hand-filled. This is the, it's a 13-year-old Moine Cognac cask finish. So Bunnahabhain Moine is their moderately peated variant. However, this one being at cask strength, that peat is even more evident, so it's comparable to a regular strength Storsha, which is Bunnahabhain's heavily peated variant. So there's plenty of peat in this. The cognac cask finish gives it some really syrupy fruit notes. In amongst, you've got that typical salty coastal Bunnahabhain, just meaty sort of flavour that I just absolutely adore in Bunnahabhain's whiskies, and hence why this particular special release, special for me, as this was the one I did the cask draw for during our Warehouse 9 tasting. So that naturally makes it even more special for me, this particular Bunnahabhain. So that's my number 2. And coming in at number 1, wonder who can guess what might be number 1. Well, here we are. Longrow 21-year-old. Now this one I haven't opened yet, but I have tasted it in the washback bar at Springbank Distillery. So after one taste, I had to buy this bottle. I couldn't not come back home without this bottle. So yeah, it's all dressed up with the Wilson tartan here at the moment, and yeah, I remember this one just being that really sort of rich. It's got lots of fruit, thick caramel, oily on the palate, fruits, chocolate. You've got funky salt. Not overly salty, but it's definitely there. And it just packs so much umami, this one. When I first tasted it, I was just blown away how good it was. And at 21 years old, the smoke is it's kind of delicate now, but it's still there, and you know it's a Longrow, and you know it's made by the Springbank Distillery, and it's just absolutely delicious stuff. And so there was no way knowing that couldn't be number 1 of my purchases of this year. So technically 3 of my top 5 are purchased from my trip, except this one is a replacement of the purchase from my trip. So those ones were the Kilkerran 12, the Longrow 21, and the Bunnahabhain Warehouse 9 release. Yeah, so that's my top 5, and let's bring on 2025 so I can pick 5 more excellent whiskies, at least. Oh, and before I go, anybody who managed to spot the drunk Santa, maybe over there somewhere, well done. Pour yourself a really nice dram. See you in the next video.